As you may know today, the United States has 50 states, but there have been many proposed states in the past. My example for today is the state of Sequoyah, a Native American proposed state in what is now Oklahoma. But first, some background information on the Indian Territory. Back in the old-timey days, the U.S. was obsessed with nothing more than manifest destiny, the idea that it was America's God-given right to expand her land from coast to coast. Anyways, they soon encountered a problem. Apparently, people had already been living there for centuries prior to manifest destiny. The most obvious solution was make them travel thousands of miles to a backwater territory and forget about them for the next 30 years. In 1861, 30 years later, while the American Civil War raged around Indian Territory, Chief Ross of the Cherokee reluctantly signed an alliance with the Confederates that the other Native American nations soon joined. Obviously, the Confederates lost, and along with that, the nations of Indian Territory were forced to give up the western half of their territory. Another 30 years later, in 1890, Congress passed the Oklahoma Organic Act that pushed all Native American tribes in the region into the new, official, half-as-big Indian Territory, and opened the Oklahoma Territory up for American settlement. The Native American nations of the Indian Territory were paranoid about their new white majority neighbor to the west, wanting to unify as the 46th state. So the Indian Territory took matters into their own hands. On August 21, 1905, the delegates of their tribal governments of the Native American nations convened in the Sequoyah Constitutional Convention in the Hinton Theater in their territorial capital of Muskogee in the Creek Nation. The delegates came together to draft up a constitution for their proposed 46th state of Sequoyah, named after the famous Cherokee that developed the Cherokee alphabet. Referendums held across the proposed state voted in favor of statehood as a way to keep the sovereignty over their lands. When the proposition reached the steps of Congress, it was shot down almost immediately after, not because of a Native American-controlled state, but because of party politics. You see, the proposed state of Sequoyah was guaranteed to be a Democratic-controlled one, and that was not about to slide with the Republican-controlled Congress. Congress stated that the territory controlled by the nations would only be accepted as a unified state with the Oklahoman Territory. As a result, on November 16, 1907, Oklahoma joined the Union as the nation's 46th state.